helping you fall asleep, guided meditation. Right here, right now, whether it's nighttime for you or not, we are going to lull ourselves into a wonderful state of calm and relaxation. You may also notice that I am joined by my lovely sleeping assistant, Ted. And Ted and I are going to help you to fall into the most magical sleep. All that we ask is that you just commit to this moment, and for the next 30-ish minutes, just relax into my words. Now I'm hoping that you are in a comfortable place. For me, that is in my bedroom, on my bed. Perhaps for you that's on a nice, comfortable sofa or chair. Perhaps even laying on a very soft and perhaps even fluffy rug on the floor. Perhaps you're in the middle of travelling. You could be in a rather uncomfortable airport waiting chair, or perhaps you're on a flight already. Wherever you are, whether that's home or away, all that matters is that this is all about sleep. So make yourself as comfortable as you can in your current surroundings, and make sure that you're comfortable with what you're wearing. For me, that means my very soft and comfortable pajamas. I particularly like the ones that I'm wearing right now that are very, very soft and have this lovely white trim, which makes me feel like I'm in some fancy hotel or spa. Perhaps for you that is sleeping as Mother Nature brought you into this world, shall we say? Or perhaps you too are in your comfiest pair of pajamas. And make sure that if you can, you are listening with headphones in, just to try and block out any external sounds. We unfortunately do not live in a silent world, so we may be surrounded by the sounds of cars, other people, building work, birds, whatever that may be for you. Just try and really listen to my words here and just tune out all of those distractions as we focus on the here and now. And of course, during this time and throughout listening to my voice, if you could maintain a steady and calm breath, that will help to gently lull you into a sense of calm. There are many different types of breathing that can help. You can try box breathing, which is a personal favourite of mine. You can do this with your eyes closed or open, but simply imagine that with every in and out breath, you are drawing a box. So you can breathe in for 4, and picture that line being created. And as you breathe out, a second line going down. As you breathe in for another 4, the third line created. And as you breathe out for 4, the other line to finish the box. And this steady breathing pattern sends signals to the brain that you're in control. And now is not a time to fill the mind with external thoughts, but instead it's a time of focus and rest. And now, with the thought that you are comfortable and you are beginning to slow your breathing, get it into a nice regular pattern, we can begin on our lovely sleep journey. Sometimes when meditation is mentioned, you can almost get yourself out of the moment by thinking that you should be thinking a particular way. When in fact, I like to think of meditation as just a time for you and a time to just stop thinking of matters of the daytime, matters of tomorrow, and just focus on right now. That's all I need you to do. And our journey begins today in the lovely hilltops of Provence. Now, we're going to begin through the lavender fields, and we're going to walk along and observe what's around us. We're going to smell the beautiful lavender, and we're going to think what a relaxing scent that is. What a wonderful moment to be so nice and calm, letting the scent fill up our senses, not just our nose, but allowing ourselves to just surrender to the scent and the calmness that washes over us. The sky is blue, but with a few fluffy white clouds dotted around. And as you begin to walk through the beautiful lavender fields, you come across a local who greets you with a gentle nod, to which you nod back. You see a little butterfly fly overhead, a beautiful sort of purple and black colouring, which almost seems perfect for the surrounding fields. There's a slight breeze, but that gently just dances over your skin, and you remember thinking that this is the perfect temperature for you. Not too hot, not too cool, just right. The Goldilocks of weather, if you will. And as you begin to meander through the lavender, your mind begins to wander to the surrounding area. You can see in the near distance some very tall trees sprouting some new leaves and birds flying in and out of them. You can also see further hills in the distance and some little what looks like farmhouses. And you can hear the gravel underneath your foot as the fields dance between gravel and soil and grass. You realize how lucky you are to have found this time to just switch off and relax. You realize that in this moment, nothing else matters. Before you know it, you can hear the faint sounds of a barking dog in the background. It sounds like a small dog, and the barks, or sweet, become slightly louder, and before you know it, a little white and black fluffy dog jumps past you, and its owner soon follows, bidding you a smile as they all come past. As you begin to leave the lavender, you decide to walk downwards towards what sounds like a stream. There is nothing better than the sense of a fresh little water stream. The water just gently flowing, just doing exactly what it needs to do. You spot some dragonflies over the water. You notice their colouring, almost iridescent blues and greens. Some small, some large. Perhaps a family of dragonflies. They seem to move along the stream in the direction of the flow, and so you decide to follow them. You realise in this moment that a stream flowing gently is much like thoughts. They can enter the mind and then simply flow out. There's no need for the stream to stop its flow. And a thought that stops the flow interrupts life in a negative way. And you don't need that in your life. You need to continue to flow just like a stream. And allow your mind to simply acknowledge the thought and let it leave. And as you continue to wander down the stream, you realize the wonderful feeling that nature brings you. Away from the roles and responsibilities of your everyday, you feel grounded by nature and realize that sometimes there are bigger things outside of your everyday. And when you go back to basics, you can start to appreciate all of these things. You begin to notice all the surrounding flora and fauna. You begin to appreciate that nice warm breeze against your skin, the sun gently hitting your face, the warmth of your cheek as you gently touch it, and the sky breaking through the trees above you as you walk in a slightly covered area by the stream. You carry on walking, and you can see a small gate towards the end. As you seem intrigued, you decide to go through the gate, which leads into another field. this time filled with wildflowers. A true mixture of what life has to offer. And you realize as you walk through and allow your hands to just gently hang down and just graze over the tops of the heads of some of the flowers, that life has so much to offer. So much beauty and so much love and light can be found in the simplest of things. Life is so colourful and we can get so bogged down by the everyday that sometimes things seem a little black and white. But in this field right now, everything is in full colour. And you look up and you're back into the full view of beautiful blue sky. The sun fully beaming down, gracing your skin, giving you a beautiful glow, reminding you what it feels like to be grounded and in touch with just the simplest of things. You feel completely at ease, and as you continue to walk through the beautiful flowery field, you notice the buzzing of a few lovely bees. Bees, as we know, are so important to this earth, and there's something so wonderful about watching a bee collect pollen. And you stop for a moment to observe a beautiful little fuzzy bee on the top of a big yellow flower. It almost seems like this flower was meant for this bee and vice versa. And you observe it just doing its job. Something very important. Something that it clearly takes pride over and enjoys doing. You think to your everyday and you start to think about some of the things that you really enjoy. You picture your everyday from waking up in the morning, somewhere that you're comfortable, somewhere that's familiar. Feel the bed sheets and perhaps enjoy your favourite morning beverage. You think about the enjoyment on your face as you do just that, and you enjoy that simple act as you begin your day. You then think towards lunchtime as your day moves on, getting to enjoy a lovely lunch that you perhaps already prepared or you have gone out and purchased. And you take a moment to have a breather. Perhaps you think about those that you've encountered in your morning, whether that's someone at your local cafe, a fellow colleague in your office, or just simply smiling at a stranger on the street. You go about the rest of your day and realize how lucky you are to be alive, how lucky you are to have had the opportunities that you've had, and what a gift your life is. You have so much to offer, and just like the humble bee, you are very important. You continue through the field, down onto what looks like more natural farmland. You can spot some grazing cattle, to which you think perhaps it's best to walk in a field, not amongst them, but beside them. And as you do, you can hear them gently grazing. And you think about how nice it is that we can coexist with all beings. You think about your life and who is in it, what different characters you encounter, and who makes your life special. You think about someone who is really important to you, someone who means a lot, someone who perhaps has been there when times have been a bit tough. And you remember how grateful you are to have that person in your life. And that leads you to think inwards and think about yourself as well, and how much you've been there for you during more difficult times, but also during times of celebration, in times when you have been able to congratulate yourself for a job well done. Because there is no greater person to be in your corner than you. You are deserving of love and appreciation, but that starts from within. You start to think back about some challenges that you've gone through, perhaps recently or in the past. And whilst in the moment you may have felt weakness, now you realise how strong those moments have made you, and how much you've learned from those situations. It's often said that if we are the same person a year later, we haven't had any lessons and we haven't grown. And it is constantly important to continue to grow and develop, because that's how we become more well-rounded, better people. And I can see that you have done a lot of learning and growing. As you continue to wander through, the light starts to dim just slightly as the sun begins to go down. You've been grateful for your lovely walk that has been sunny and warm. You've encountered many different parts of nature. And now you'd like to head inwards and return to where you're staying. A beautiful converted barn with the biggest bed that you have ever experienced. How lucky to be staying in such a place. As you enter, there is a distinct woody smell. When you first arrived, you weren't so keen. And like many things in life, when things are new, we often tend to dislike them or at least be apprehensive. We are all creatures of comfort, and most of us tend to like to stay within our comfort zone. But it's when we push through those true home comforts that we discover a new side of ourselves that perhaps we didn't know was there. And so now the woody smell is welcomed, and a refreshing scent from being outdoors and smelling the more floral scents of the lavender and the flowers. You can see that a candle has been burning luckily in a safe way, under a dome. And the flicker begins to relax you even further. You decide to make yourself a nice warm drink because despite the sunshine today, there's nothing nicer than a comforting warm drink before bed. You've made yourself a nice little fruity number, but one that claims to be very relaxing before bedtime, which is very handy. And as you begin to get yourself into some comfortable clothes, you realise how lucky you are to have experienced the day you've experienced. As mentioned, sometimes in life, the simplest things are often the best. And what we can sometimes find is that we tend to take the simple things for granted. We tend to look for more things, better things, to try and fill what we think is a void, when in fact we just need to go back to basics and learn to truly appreciate what's right in front of us. You tuck yourself into this giant bed, huge white puffed pillows. You put a couple to one side because perhaps 4 might be a bit too many. But you create a nice little position with 2. And over the top of the bed is a handmade quilt with little patches of different fabrics and a couple of pieces of hand embroidery, perhaps cut out from someone else's old quilt and remade into something new, because beauty can still be found in the old things. You lay there and observe all the different coloured patches of this quilt and realise that whilst all of these bits of quilt are from different places, together they make something really special and new. You lay back and feel the comfort of the pillow. It is the most comfortable pillow that you have ever rested your head on. You can still smell the lavender slightly, as it was quite pungent, yet of course relaxing. And you have a small window just opposite the bed, and you can still just about see the lavender hills in the distance. It is quiet and calm, aside from the sound of the flickering candle. And you sink deeper down into the bed, relaxing every part of your body, realizing how lucky you are just to be here. And that turns your thoughts just ever so slightly to your life, and how grateful and lucky you are for everything in it. Sometimes we find ourselves seeking new things in order to fill some sort of void that we feel we need to fill. Sometimes we just do it for the fun of it, and other times we do it to try and find what's missing. And in those times, we need to remind ourselves what's already there. You realize how grateful and lucky you are. And you realize that whilst there's still growth to be done and learning, everything is going to be okay. And as your eyes close, you remember all the parts of this lovely day, and you begin to feel excited about what's to come. Because the magical thing about life is that no one knows what's around the corner. And whilst that can be a little bit daunting and scary, it can also be quite beautiful and exciting. So now, as you drift off into the most wonderful dream state, which will be a continuation of this lovely day, picturing that warmth on your skin, rethinking about those scents, seeing the nature, you realize that everything is going to be okay. And you will wake from this deep sleep and feel rested and ready for anything the day throws at you. Because you have got this, and you are in complete control. And in any moment of uncertainty, bring yourself back to the present and remembering to calm and control your breath. You can control whatever comes your way. And now, as I say goodnight, I ask you to just continue your breathing and remembering that everything will be okay. I hope you have a wonderful sleep, and remember that I am always here should you need a little extra help, but I know that you've got this. So good night, sleep tight, and I'm here whenever